Hello, world. I'm about to embark on a journey to discover how software development is going to change with artificial intelligence and how we can use AI to our best advantage when we're building software. So, this is a journey that I think many of us are going to be taking. So, join me and we'll discover it together. Hello, world. I'm David Scott Bernstein, and I've been a software developer for most of my life, about 40 years. First, as a waterfall developer, and then adopting Agile. And I've seen a lot of the challenges in our industry, and I've seen also ways to overcome many of the challenges. I think if we can bring some of those ideas into some of the new tools that are coming out, this is going to really help transform our industry. I don't think it's going to put us out of jobs, but it's going to change how we do our job quite significantly. And I think for the better, because a lot of the minutia, a lot of the details around software development will be able to be automated for us. And we'll be able to just focus more on solving problems. And yes, this is going to bring software to the masses. People who don't have technical experience are going to be able to, you know, sit down with a chatbot and design a system for their needs. But there's still going to be the need for professional software developers who build enterprise software systems. These require special considerations that most people are unaware of. And, architecting these kinds of systems are still interesting and still a challenge. So I don't really see our jobs as going away, but I see as becoming much more effective. And I also see that that's going to help us realize that the need for software is far greater than we realize. Our industry has been growing by leaps and bounds for the last few decades. And that's because the need for software is so great. But I think that when we uncover the real needs, by being able to deliver much, much faster, it's going to help change the world. It's going to help change not only the software development industry, but it's going to help change every industry because every industry depends on software. And so think about what it's going to be like when people are able to get the software they need, not in months or years, but rather in days or hours. And that's going to really transform, I think, a lot of other businesses and make a lot of entrepreneurial opportunities for people. It's really going to change humanity in a lot of ways because it's going to uncover so many more resources, but they're intellectual resources, which is great. And it's not like our skills are going to be obsolete. But many of them actually are and have been obsolete for quite a while. But when we understand how to build software that's more changeable, I think those skills will be quite important. How do we architect systems in ways that give us flexibility? Those skills will remain quite important. And those are the skills that I've focused my career on because building resilient systems that are changeable, is of paramount interest to business because business requires change. Successful organizations require the ability to have their systems change and improve. And that's what changeable code means. That's what Agile is all about. Here's my litmus test for agility in software development is can it respond to business needs and how quickly? How quickly can it respond to business needs? This is what we focus on when we go into large organizations and help them transform their software development, which is decreasing time to value. How long does it take from a feature to be defined from that point to actually implement it and in the hands of the users? So we're not spending a lot of time doing local optimizations, but rather trying to optimize the whole, and that we find is much more effective. So many of the techniques that have been recently developed in, the technical side of software development, I think, which haven't hit the masses yet, have a lot of value, have a lot of value for us now, and also have a lot of value for us in the future as software developers, because again, it helps us realize the dream of Agile, which is to build software that is changeable, that can respond to the business needs, and that's my test for agility. It's not whether I do a certain ceremony or whether I have a daily stand-up or whatever. Those are just the form. It's the content, right? It's about being agile. It's about having and it's not just a mindset. It's not just, oh, I'm agile. It's having the technical practices that support this. Otherwise, you end up with a mess. Because if you take the waterfall approach of coming up with a design and then implementing that design incrementally, you will ultimately fail. I can say that with a fair degree of confidence, because if we're getting our requirements incrementally, as we do in Agile, we're not seeing the big picture. So whatever design we come up with is going to be wrong. Ultimately, it's going to need to change. And the art of being able to change our design, refactor our design from one design to another, is an art and a science that I don't see many developers possess. These are simple skills, but skills that I don't see a lot of developers use or understand. When we do understand it, we understand how we can change design safely so that our code can accommodate new features. Then we start to go onto an upward spiral. The quality of our code continually improves as we add new features rather than degrades. And that, of course, is critically important. These are the things that I think are the distinguishing factors of successful software organizations, in my experience. And I've gotten to work with many of them. I'm excited to share them with you here on this channel. And that's what we're going to talk about.